Our next speaker is also here to share her story of how a personal passion became a larger issue of advocacy. Reflecting on her journey with juvenile arthritis, please welcome sophomore Shyna Ballal.
In July of 2013, I woke up with my fingers bent inward and in excruciating pain. In the days that followed, it got increasingly harder for me to do the things I loved, such as playing volleyball, tennis, and my guitar. The journey to my diagnosis was confusing and lengthy. Even after numerous trips to the doctor, hospital visits, and tests, doctors were still unable to figure out what was wrong. I faced many misdiagnoses, from growing pains, overexertion, to even flat feet. Meanwhile, my pain just kept getting worse and worse. It got harder for me to stand up for long periods of time and even walk from place to place. My parents were very supportive and took me from doctor to doctor in order to find out what was wrong. Finally, we were directed to a pediatric rheumatologist, which is a doctor that specializes in diseases that affect muscles, bones, and joints. It was at my first meeting with the rheumatologist a year and a half later, when I was 10, that I was diagnosed with polyarticular juvenile idiopathic arthritis. I know what you're thinking. What a mouthful. Hearing my diagnosis initially left me feeling scared and abnormal. Giving a name to the mysterious pain made it so much more real. I wanted nothing more than to be normal. I was and am surrounded by friends and family who support me immensely, but at times their constant attention was what really made me feel different. I craved a world of normalcy. Juvenile arthritis is an autoimmune disease. This just means that the immune system, which is supposed to protect the body from foreign substances, attacks the body instead. The disease is also idiopathic, which means that the exact cause is unknown, which is why it took over a year for me to get diagnosed. Researchers think that it could be related to certain markers or infections, or even environmental triggers. The form of arthritis I have, polyarticular juvenile idiopathic arthritis, simply means that it affects more than 5 parts of my body and commonly plagues children under the age of 18. I'm so fortunate to once again be able to do the things I love, but there are still some things that haven't changed since I was 10, like bi-weekly visits to the doctors and days where the pain makes it hard to physically get up in the morning. I started off with a negative mindset that my life was terrible because of this disease that I thought controlled my life with constant doctor's visits, appointments, pain, and medications. My health kept me from doing some of the same things as my friends and was constantly something that until recently I wanted to hide in order to avoid pity and judgment. My health kept me from doing the same things as my friends. I was unable to go on field trips, go to Disneyland and theme parks without a wheelchair, and when everyone else was sitting around the carpet at school, I'd have to pull up a chair, since my joints made it impossible to sit on the floor without feeling immense pain. Fortunately, due to my incredibly strong support system, I'm now able to do most of the things I couldn't, even if it is a little late. I visit the doctor's office every week now and see wheelchair-bound children in the same condition as me, or worse, who have to spend every day at the hospital. Toddlers who haven't taken their first steps yet, unable to discover the world around them due to inadequate medical attention or misdiagnoses. I felt guilty that I was taking steps towards normalcy, and they weren't. I'm so fortunate enough to have access to the resources needed for the recovery process, and after some research, I realized that many people do not have access to resources I thought everyone did. Some children and adults never get diagnosed correctly because of the lack of rheumatologists, especially pediatric rheumatologists. I became actively involved in the Arthritis Foundation because it gave me the outlet I needed in order to make a difference. It helped me connect with others in a similar position as me, and it was the first time I got to meet and become friends with people who had the same condition. The foundation raises millions of dollars for awareness, advocacy, and research. My endeavors to create awareness and my story appealed to the Arthritis Foundation, and I was selected to be a junior ambassador. Our goal is to help children with arthritis and other debilitating ailments live a productive life. It doesn't seem like a large problem, but over 300,000 children are affected with juvenile arthritis in the United States alone. And the even more shocking part is most of those affected are never diagnosed because of arthritis' elusive nature or often face misdiagnosis. As a junior ambassador, I take up numerous of issues affecting the cause to elected state officials at the state and national level, in hopes of getting laws changed to help children who need an advocate. One of the recent causes we took up was a loan repayment program to help get more pediatric rheumatologists. Qualified individuals who agree to work in a subspecialty field for up to 2 years are granted to be paid $35,000 annually for up to 3 years. This will make more people go into the field and improve care for children. It is not easy to share my story with arthritis because it's always been something I've been very nervous to talk about and never felt comfortable about. But I hope you now know that arthritis is not just something that old people get, but something anyone can get. It is important to be as educated as possible and to advocate for yourself and others in order to avoid misdiagnosis and help doctors. My experiences with arthritis have shaped me because my arthritis is not something that defines me, just something that adds to who I am. Though the journey may have been tough, it taught me so much more about myself and what kind of person I am. Normal isn't what you're told, it's what you make it. Thank you.